know what they say. When life gets tough, eat more salmon. We've got a super salmon recipe that will have you going glazy. It's Chef Kevin Belton's garlic honey glazed salmon, and the salmon sage is cooking it up in the Good to Eat kitchen. How you doing, Salmon Sage?
I had never heard that before. When the going gets tough, you eat salmon?
Yeah. Oh, man, and you're going glazy this morning.
That's it, because I'm a glazy kind of guy. you know, a lot of folks aren't fans of salmon because it's an oily fish. But if you get a good piece, it's okay.
Yeah.
It'll taste fine and won't be that oily. Plus, salmon, most of the oil in most fish are toward the belly. So when you're coming down the side of that fish from that fillet at the top, when you get toward the belly, that's where more oil is. And with salmon, you can see how it tapers off and gets thin. Well, that's where the belly. The other thing is, everybody always talks about the skin, okay? Now, there's a couple of things you can do. This is a whole fillet that I just took and cut it. You could score the skin, but when we go to cook this, I'm gonna get the skillet hot. We'll put the skin side down first, and when we flip it, the skin will be crispy, but also under the skin there's a layer of fat that connects the skin to the flesh of the meat. When you heat up the skin, that dissolves that fat, and the skin will come right off. So if you get a fillet and you try to de-skin it, and take the skin off, just put it in the pan first. And let that fat dissolve, then the skin will come right off.
I told you he was a salmon sage.
There we go. There we go. It's my time in Alaska.
And it is so healthy for you.
Oh, it's healthy, plus it tastes good. You don't have to do a whole lot with it. We're going to use just a little Creole seasoning on top. We could just do a little salt and pepper.
And this is the sage's own Creole seasoning.
Look, we're going to just do a little bit on top. Come on.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
But you can see what I'm saying, how toward the belly.
Yeah.
That's what. But I tell you what, if you get a good piece of salmon, you'll be fine. Now, for our glaze for this, matter of fact, tell you what, let's start getting the pan heated up, and we'll show everyone how we'll let this pan get hot so we can sear that skin off, and then show our glaze how we can glaze it so they can get glazy at home.
And I tell you what, when it gets to cooking, it's going to cook fast.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Taking liberty with one of Prince's big hits, let's go glazy. And that's what we're doing this morning with Chef Kevin Belton's super salmon recipe, garlic honey glazed salmon. Let's go glazy.
There we go. There we go. I met Prince.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Many years ago. Super nice guy.
I mean, incredible guitar player.
So talented. On his first album, he played every instrument on his first album.
Wow.
Super nice guy, yeah. His parents said that was a way to keep him home. They bought him all the instruments that he wanted.
Well, I tell you what, if you make this recipe, it's going to keep you home.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And we want the pan to heat up. Sometimes that's the difference between home cooking and in restaurants. Once the burners are on in a restaurant, they stay on. They don't turn off until end of service. And you set your pans on there and you let your pans get hot. That's what we're doing here, because I don't want it too hot, because I don't want to, a little oil in the pan, and we're using a non-stick pan. You can use cast iron, whatever. But I think, we should be hot enough to where we get that little sizzle.
The sizzle.
See, just that little bit of sizzle on there, and I'll be able to show folks when we flip it what we're talking about, how we can take that skin off, okay? But what's nice is, salmon is one of these fish, you can cook it all the way through, or you can cook it like you cook tuna. Tuna just needs to get seared on the outside, because if you cook tuna all the way through, it's gonna dry out, all right? So, oh yeah, that's sizzling, baby.
Ooh, I love
so
this.
here, we have some red pepper flakes. In a bowl, I have some honey. We'll put in some red pepper flakes, a little bit of Worcestershire, all right? Some lemon juice with garlic in it.
Oh, man.
Now,
garlic.
We could throw the garlic right in the pan here if we want, but I like to go ahead and just put it in our sauce that we're gonna glaze, all right?
Oh, it's gonna be sticky sweet. I'm telling you what, sticky sweet. I love it.
Sticky and sweet. We got a little savory going on. But see that skin
And it cooks so fast. It really does.
gets nice and crispy. The other thing, and I don't know if we can be able to get a shot of this for everybody to see. Look at this piece. Look at this.
It's already starting to come. Look how easy. Look at that.
The skin comes right off. Now you know you can leave that in there and make salmon chips. You know, skin
Now
chips.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but look, season the backside. But you can see how, if we get a shot in there, you can see how it's changing color.
See, look at this one starting to do it too. It's starting to flip up.
Yeah, yeah. Let's turn that fire down just a little bit because this won't take that long. Now, gang, if you have a lot of pieces to make, we can always start it on a stove, start it on a cooktop, and then move it in the oven. It'll finish cooking in the oven because it's very, very quick. But we're gonna let this sit for just a couple more minutes, then we'll flip it over, and then we'll glaze it.
And the secret's in the glaze.
The secret's in the glaze. And look at that skin, get nice and crispy.
Oh,
I know somebody on the crew that's gonna want that. Oh yeah, it's it's popping.
I think that fish is still alive, man.
I think so.
Let's go glazy this morning in the Good to Eat kitchen. Ready to take a Lenten break from crawfish, shrimp, or catfish? We've got a sweet idea. Salmon on. With Chef Kevin Belton's garlic honey glazed salmon, and the king of salmon joins us this morning. Man, it cooks fast.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So let's go ahead, flip it back over.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Look at that. Nice and golden.
Got a nice crisp on it.
There is nothing like a nice little bit of that crispy exterior with that soft interior.
This is going to be great.
Now it's time to get a little glazy.
Okay.
Because we can just take it and put it right on top of each piece. But that honey, that garlic, you get that smell.
Oh, yeah. It just all comes together.
It does. It does. And you know that skin that we had down in there, crisping up at first, it's going to get like honey coated and get glazed on.
Like
Now,
you said, you could make it into some chips.
you can make it into chips. I tell you something else, gang. I'll make a salmon dip. Do exactly what we did. Season the salmon with a little seasoning. Put it in the skillet on both sides. Put the skin down first. Take the skin off. Season it. In a bowl, JP, take some sour cream and a little mayonnaise.
Oh, man.
Okay? Cut up a little dill in that. And then take your salmon, once it's cooked all the way through, break it up and mix it into that bowl. And now you got a nice salmon dip.
Perfect for Easter brunch.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, so you can take that same recipe and just do it over and just
Look at that
tell you
glaze.
what,
That
makes
is such
nice-
this is such a beautiful dish.
yeah, it is. And you can serve this with anything that you want. I like it just by itself because it's so good just by itself. So we'll be ready to plate this up in just a second.
Man, look at that glaze.
Glazing.
Secrets in the glaze. We all know how nutritious salmon is. Loaded with omega-3s, high in protein, tons of vitamins. This recipe is a winner and will have you wanting more. It's Chef Kevin Belton's garlic honey glazed salmon, and it's ready to plate. Look
Yes,
at
it
that
is.
baby. Oh,
Look.
man.
Take a few lemon slices. Just put some lemon slices right
It's
on
all
top.
in the presentation.
You know, we had lemon juice in. We could put a little lemon slices right on top. And just, you know, put a little bit of that glaze right over the top of it.
I'm telling you, you know, if you're tired, you know, you never get tired of crawfish in Louisiana, but you want a break from crawfish and shrimp during Lent, this would be a good option.
Now, I give you a spoon. I'm gonna tell you why I gave you a spoon. I gave you a spoon because that way you can always get extra sauce.
Ooh, I like that.
You
Hey,
know?
got an option.
I can give you a little extra sauce right over the top.
There you go. Oh, perfectly cooked.
Look, we can finish it with a little parsley on it.
Jackie, we are making this tonight. This is excellent.
I
Guys,
tell you, it's It's a nice low flavor. It's a different flavor. You get the sweet, you get the savory, you get a little bit of the seasoning.
I love those pepper flakes, that aftertaste, man. It really helps.
And, and for folks that aren't a salmon fan, you could do this recipe with any other fish that you might have at home that you might want.
Yeah, but the salmon is so, man,
Yes.
it's perfectly cooked. And this didn't take all but 20 minutes, maybe.
Not at all. And like I said, gang, you can always sear it off. Just sear it off for 30 seconds on each side if you have a lot to make, and then put that pan in the oven or put it on the sheet pan and stick it in the oven.
For more on this salmon recipe and all of Chef Kevin's Good to Eat recipes, head to the Good to Eat page at WBRZ.com. It's easy, tasty, and healthy. It will amaze.
Hey, you got to make this Lenten season salmon season. And the secret, it's in the glaze. So go glazy.